All right, welcome back to Movie Howl. My name is Joe, joined as always by Ryan. We are going to give you the spoils for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Number one, and we've already done the non-spoiler version, so if you want to know what we think about the movie in general,
basic synopsis.
go see that. Listen to that, whatever it is, on whatever platform you want to, because we're obviously everywhere. I'm just gonna get right into this. Number one, Final. I don't know about Final. This I had mentioned a little bit in the other one. I think it just ended like any other one ends, and it could absolutely just go on, and there could be another adventure and many more. There's no final here.
A lot of them have really somber endings, like the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a very somber ending of Ethan like letting go of his past, of his wife, and all that. Like you're gonna go and live your life, I'm gonna go and live mine, and I felt like this was similar in tone.
Mid-edit here. I'm about as wrong as I can be right there. Mission Impossible 3 ends with Ethan leaving with Julia and not sure if he's going to come back to the IMF. Whereas in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, we find out that he left with Julia, but then realized that he needs to let her go to keep her safe and to keep the world safe. Because that's the kind of guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you had the death of Luther.
Yep.
As like a major thing that's like an end of an era.
Yeah, it's like an old school throwback to all the movies before it got woke and you killed the black guy first. So poor Ving Rhames. I actually had forgotten that he hadn't already died in one of the other ones. Like, oh, dude, he's still kicking around, and I liked how this might have been.
Wasn't he not? He was not in one of them. Right?
Probably.
I think there's been at least one or two where he's not featured so heavily.
I agreed. But I like how they didn't hold our hands with, and this might have been from the last movie. As I said, I don't know. I don't remember what happened in the other ones. Like the main bad guy in this one, Gabriel, I don't recognize him from anything. But when Benny and
Benji.
Ethan, Benji, yes, go and meet Luther, he's got this setup. And it's got like a hospital bed there, but they don't really say anything. They make a comment about it, but they don't really say anything about him being sick. But you get that, and they eventually show it, like him being in it. But even that very beginning, they didn't say anything about him. Like, oh, he must be sick.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was the last one. I haven't watched
exactly. Like I don't remember if he was already
I don't remember it being a thing. I don't remember if he was injured or whatever.
But I really appreciated in this movie they didn't have to exposize it.
They didn't hold your hand.
That's probably not a word. Sorry about that.
And so I've seen a lot of stuff recently. Like, I don't know if they're leaked internal stuff or if they're just mask off talking about this now, but Netflix saying that a lot of their stuff is designed for you to not pay attention. They're designing it to be like second screen content. Like you're on your phone or your laptop or whatever else, and you just have this on in the background. Mm-hmm. So they want to do it like Dragon Ball Super, where you see the thing happen, and then you see the characters on the sidelines watching it and explaining what just happened. And I've said before, like the ultimate anti-that movie is probably Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, where you really have to pay attention. So I've never really watched it with anybody who paid enough attention to know what was going on.
You've mentioned that to me. We need to watch it because I really like him. Gary Oldman's great, and he's the one who's in it, right?
Yeah, him and what's his name?
I don't know.
King's Speech.
That's not Colin Firth, is it?
Yeah, Colin Firth.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Colin Firth is in it too.
Which you said King's Speech, but I was thinking King's Men when you first said it, and I'm like, I could be totally getting this wrong.
I immediately thought like Kingsman would have been a better reference, but yeah,
we got there in the end.
It doesn't hold your hand. It's not as like you have to pay attention to all the little details, but they're not just explaining everything right to you, which I really appreciate. They show you enough to understand something's going on with Luther. They show you enough to know what the stakes are, how much time has passed, what characters are still involved, what characters aren't. Like they don't go through this whole like, it's not like like last time on Mission Impossible and they give you like a rundown of what just happened. They assume you're up to speed on it, and if not, they're going to drop in enough that you have context.
Yeah, they showed that compilation in the beginning that we talked about in the other video. I really like that. I had completely forgotten that, what is his name? He came into your bar. The guy who gets killed from his original movie and his team, the elevator, he's going up and wow.
Emilio Estevez?
Yes. I could not. I'm like, it's Charlie Sheen's brother, but I couldn't get there. I kept thinking Christian Slater.
The guy
I'm like,
that-
I know that's not who it is.
What are the odds? The one celebrity who came into my business.
But I had forgotten about that specific thing happening. It was a nice. I'm like, oh yeah, he was in this and that happened. But this movie, when it comes to spoilers and things, and I mean, the spoiler for Ethan saves the world. Okay, we already know you already know that's going to happen
Kind of his jam.
when you get into the movie. There were some things that happened in this that were a bit much, but some things I want to talk about that I really did like. That I don't know, spoilery or not. You had mentioned it before about how, all right, well, we need a plan. The plan has to be, this is the bad guy, and we have to go to him because he's got the thing we need.
Yeah.
How do we get to him? We get to his secondhand person, but that scene when they go and rescue her, this character who I remember from another movie or maybe more than one, I don't know, but when they referenced her, Asian lady speaks French, this great character, I really liked her character.
She reminded me a lot of Kimiko from The Boys in the first one.
And she almost, like, I thought like it can't be because I didn't look it up, but is that the same actress who plays Yukio in Deadpool? But it's probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm pretty sure she's like way younger. But I really liked her character. I really liked that scene when they go rescue her as part of the prison transfer and how that played out. And I also really liked how they brought in the older character from the first movie. When Ethan drops down on the wire, steals the thing. The guy who walks in.
Wrong.
He's been gone for 30. The way that entire thing played out, from the introduction of his character through the end, how his storyline ended in this movie was great. I loved everything about that.
And also Phelps, like the son, this other agent who's been around turns out to be, and I assume Ethan knows it because of the entity, because he gets into like phone booth, that's what I'm going to call it, and puts on the VR headset, and the thing can like restrain him and like electrocute him and like read his mind and like put thoughts into his head.
It's pretty wild. He could do a lot.
Yeah, but all of a sudden he like knows stuff about people, and she says, like, the woman says that it's going to change you going in there, like, maybe don't do it. And he's like, no, this is clearly what we're supposed to be doing right now. And he's like, oh, you're Briggs, but your real name is this, and whatever. And he's like, yeah, you told everybody that my father was a traitor. His father being the original Mission Impossible main character from the TV show, which I think a lot of people don't realize anymore, because that show
played by John Boyd
was, what is it, 50 years old now?
Yeah.
The whole thing of like that reveal of, there's some personal stuff going on, and he's like, this is, the entity wants us to hate each other. Like, it knows that we're not going to work together because we just can't. So we have to do what it doesn't expect us to do. And he puts his hand out and he's like, after they're done with you, we'll have our reckoning. Like, they say reckoning a couple times.
They do. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to bring that up too, that they actually say that, like Gabriel's
the one who says it. This is your final reckoning. Like, he's the one that finally, he said it. He said it.
It's the thing. He said that it was, that was a little heavy-handed. And there are some things in here. There's a scene with Ethan and Gabriel in some planes, and it's basically they're both chasing the MacGuffin.
Yeah, and they're like,
which is really they MacGuffin from the very opening of this.
They're like,
it's the MacGuffin.
They're hobbyist biplanes too. They're not like, he's like, you need to go and find something analog like a DC-3, but this guy shows up with like a crop duster.
It's funny you mentioned DC-3. My mom used to be a stewardess on those. Way back when you could smoke on planes.
Yeah, I mean, usually I can just shut my brain off.
For all the fantastical things that kind of happen in this movie, and it's so ridiculous, and that's what Mission Impossible does. We know it. Like I referenced this before. I likened it to Fast and the Furious when I talked about that. Like, I meant it. Only they do try to ground it a little bit more than, like, they're not going to space in race cars. So, I mean, it's a little bit more potentially grounded.
I mean, Rari's on Mars, Lambo's on the moon.
Why not? But there's so many wild things that happen, and so many things in this are so coincidental that if they don't happen this exact way and down to the meter and all these different things that have to happen, the scene with him in the sub was both one of my favorite parts of the movie and one of my most hated parts of the movie because of all the things that go on. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah, when you see that the sub is on like this cliff underwater, it's like it's gonna move.
Yep.
It's huge. It's massive. It weighs tons and tons. Like, it's mind-boggling how big and heavy it must be. And then he gets in it, and it starts moving around like these rocks. They're rocks. They're breaking. Like it's a bedrock, and it's breaking. And the sub is rolling around with him in it. And at first, it kind of made sense because he opens the hatch, and 1,000 pounds of water comes in. Like that might move things. Like sure, but then he like opens a door, and it causes enough motion that the thing starts rolling and stuff like that. Like it makes it very tense, but it's a little bit unbelievable.
A little bit unbelievable. There are so many unbelievable things that happened in that scene.
I'm just talking about it rolling. What I still don't understand from that scene is how he got out of the he's like torpedo tube.
Yes, right.
How did you open the torpedo tube? I'm pretty sure they don't fire themselves. They don't usually load people in them.
Nope.
Not typically.
And to just
I mean, maybe in the Russian Navy.
Maybe the Russian.
Like,
I mean, it was a Russian.
That's
sub.
the version of walking the plank, like get in the tube.
One of the things
And fire yourself out while you're in there. Like, I'm pretty sure you need somebody else. Or is there like a timer? Did he like cock a little mechanical thing? Like, boop, and it's like he has to get in before it releases him.
That I thought was the scariest thing because I'm like, oh, you're just gonna die in that too.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's like you're gonna get in there. You're stuffed in there. And then
Mhm.
you're gonna be like, okay, now how where oh yeah, it would be on the outside, wouldn't it? Or are you kicking in the door?
And so another thing that I don't get is they show inside of this thing. So when, first of all, he gets to it and the time that we're dealing with here, he has minutes is what we're talking about. When they're explaining to him
10 minutes on task. 15 minutes down, 10 minutes on task.
Yeah.
And then you might have enough to get up.
Maybe. Like the time is.
And they're
but
like, you're probably going to drown, but we'll be able to revive you.
He gets to this sub. And just so we understand, a sub is not the size of a van. It's huge.
Yeah.
So number one, you have to figure out a way to get inside of this huge thing. Okay, no, hold on. We're not even getting there yet. How do you find it? How do you find that goddamn sub? Because yes, I know you have the coordinates, but the coordinates that they're talking about in this movie, they're coordinates from where this sonar station heard the explosion.
They heard the impact.
Right. But I guess there's the explosion when it first happened, and then the impact of when it landed. But the fact that you think it's that it's here in the ocean, but he jumps in the ocean, he's going down, and it's black. It's pitch black. So the fact that you can find it that was one of the most fantastical things at all. But
sure, but they were like, well, it's going to be on your. Basically, it was the spacesuit from Into Darkness, like with the little heads-up display.
Heads-up
like this
display.
is where you have to go and whatever. So I mean, they
didn't
just
use that a
they
whole lot.
explained it
I
away.
mean, they I can see that. So he gets to it. Now you have to figure out a way to get in, and somehow he's got a tool that lets him open it up, and he gets in the normal like hatch. If it came up to the surface, hatch opens and you get in.
Yeah.
But when he does that, opens the hatch, water comes in, he gets in, closes the hatch, so now it's closed, and no more water's getting in. And then he opens up the hatch to get in, and they show you before he gets in there that it's dry, that it's not full
At
of
least
water.
that room is, yeah.
And so he opens it up, and the water comes in, but then all of a sudden, movie magic and water just keeps coming in.
Yeah, yeah. And other parts of the ship, like it was ripped apart, and they have these like flashback scenes where you see people getting like ripped out of it and floating up. I thought that's how he was going to get in. I thought he was going to just go into like a hole in the
Right.
wreckage,
I'm like,
not
where it got exploded, that you're going to go in right there. But so he's on this limited time, so you have to find a way into it. Then he has to figure out where to go inside this giant Russian sub that there were blueprints. They did show at one point, so knowing the level of commitment that he has, like where the time, there's 3 days. They have a 3-day timer that's going on at one point.
He gets 72 hours.
72
Which
hours.
I like that scene with the president too, where she's like, "You have, in 72 hours. Like we have 72 hours. Take him into custody." And he's like, ugh. And then they walk him out to Marine One, and he's like, "What?" She's like, "You heard the president. You have 72 hours." And they're like, "Good luck."
Yep.
Just send him on his way. I like that a lot.
That was good.
And they figure out later, like, wait a minute, you actually gave him what he asked for. You gave him an aircraft carrier and whatever.
I'm the commander in chief.
I
That's
was
my
a little-
aircraft
yeah,
carrier. I
she's
can do
like-
whatever I want with it.
I was a little confused by Neely because of
The general?
it was the aircraft carrier. captain.
Oh, her. Yeah.
Admiral, vice admiral, something like that. Whatever she was.
Oh, is it because it's a woman?
It was because Neely is a character from Breacher.
Oh,
I was like, Neely. I was racking my brain. Like, do we know her from another movie? They had this reference to 96, which, like, was that when the first one came out? Like, who? And then I just realized, oh, it's Reacher.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just the same name. There's nothing else to it, I don't think. But yeah, I like that. I like that scene a lot. That finally they're like, okay, we're just going to trust you. Like, you've come through every time so far.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably the one who's going to get this done if somebody is. But I like that he still doesn't really have the full support of everybody. Like, that's what makes these movies so interesting and a little repetitive, is that he's always
Doing what he
disavowed.
wants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're never like on a normal mission. You're always disavowed and whatever. Like, you have
Going
no
off on your
support.
own.
You're on your own. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess it'd be maybe a little bit boring if they started doing just episodic, hey, you're going on this mission, and it just goes okay. Like, maybe that's not as fun.
Well, then it's more James Bondish.
That's true. But the sub commander,
Sub-commander.
that guy was so good.
He
Oh
was
my
so
God.
good.
He was so good. Yeah. We talked about it in the last one, but he reminded us both of Cisco from DS9. Just the way that you have
Mhm.
no idea what he's thinking. You have no idea what side he's on. He's just listening to Ethan. I always want to call him Tom Cruise, but he's listening to, like, they tased him in the ocean. He jumped out of a whatever that vehicle was
Yeah.
into the ocean.
Yep,
He's like
helicopter.
freezing, and then all of a sudden, power armor from New Vegas pops up behind him, and they hit him with like a cattle prod.
Yep.
And then they dragged him underwater with like an oxygen mask on. It's like there's surely he was under control with three of you and him in the middle
Fully
of the ocean.
equipped. He's just in the
freezing.
water.
Yeah. Like, it would have been much easier to be like, put this mask on and then bring him
And
down.
that right there, you jump out of this aircraft is hovering over the water that has to go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the Russians are looking at us.
That
Planes
scene was
float-
super cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoop, they do that turn. to
Uh-huh,
show
so you can
their
see the
arms.
missiles. That was actually really good. I agree with you.
I
was
wonder,
really neat.
that was one of the ones where it's like, if that was CG, that was really good.
That's really good.
That looked pretty real to me.
But he's in the ocean. Do you know how hard it is to find someone in the ocean? Like, if it's just one in the, like, how do you don't see that?
Dude,
if
you
you're
can't-
flying,
You can't find your friend at the beach.
the raging, it was
Me and
wild.
Kim went to Folly Beach in Charleston or in that area, whatever, and it's like, oh, I can't see Kim anymore. We've been apart for 30 seconds.
She was
and
10
I can
feet
no
away
longer
from me.
find
I have
her.
no idea.
Yeah.
No.
Because all it takes is a wave. Like,
Yep.
this much of you is out of the water. It takes a wave this high. Oh, I can't see you anymore.
Yep. It
But somehow, yeah, like I said,
and they just popped up right there.
power armor. They just pop up. I was like, whoa, this
It was
really
so
looks
good.
like the cover for New Vegas.
Okay, so one of the things that's going on with this AI, we didn't actually mention this at all because it wasn't a huge part. Played in a couple times, like 2 times that I can think of, where this AI who wants to destroy the world has a cult following of people,
Yeah.
who believe this is the right thing to do.
A death
that-
cult.
Yes.
That's what they call it, yeah.
And they even established in the very beginning that they've infiltrated everything, every different, that they have people, police, and this, and government, and that they have people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Ethan's on the sub, he's getting ready. He's doing these things. He's on a treadmill. He's got this mask on. He has to get himself ready for this dive he's going to do. They talk about, and yet he gets attacked by one of the crew members.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the crew members, other crew members comes, the dive captain, I guess, comes to save him. I like how the dive captain, I'm pretty sure, is the daughter of the character Vasquez from Aliens. The chick who had the big ass gut. Like, that's who she looked like. I'm like, you're kind of,
That's who she,
and it was very reminiscent of that, this
Yeah.
badass. So,
I liked her. Yeah,
I did too.
At first, I didn't know.
I'm like,
if
what
I
are they going
did.
with this? But nope.
It's like everybody had this just bizarre attitude towards
little.
him, but
And-
then it's like, oh, that's just kind of who they are.
There was a guy in it with big dude,
The ginger?
red.
Yeah.
Is he the guy from Game of Thrones?
No, I don't think
Couldn't
so.
be, right?
He's
His
too tall.
voice.
He's too tall.
Oh, the other guy's pretty big, wasn't he? He's a tall guy.
I don't know. This guy seemed too tall to me, but
Maybe.
no, I don't think it was it. Tormund.
Yes. Yeah.
Tormund Giant's Bane.
Uh huh.
Because
He's a big woman.
I was thinking, like, doesn't that beard make it hard for masks to adhere to your face? Probably.
Maybe
I don't know.
the whole thing. I don't know. That's a good question. But she saves him. Like there's this knife fight going on, and the death cult guy who's on the boat, he's one of the crew members, trying to stop you. I can't let you go through with this because I know you want to destroy the AI or whatever else you're going to do that isn't in its interest.
Mm-hmm.
And she knocks it. And they don't talk about it at all. It's not like, why are you attacking one of our crew members?
Right, that's what I thought was going to happen. Like,
But-
we're going to lock you up
No,
because
nothing.
you just killed one of our
They
guys.
They don't say anything about it. And I think I kind of like that.
Yeah,
That we don't have to, doesn't have
it's
to be a
just
whole
the thing that
tragic-
happened.
Yep. Oh, he was attacking you, and he must be like. Do they understand that because they gave us the exposition in the beginning of the movie about this death cult and about infiltrate? Does that mean everybody in this universe understands that has happened? And if they do understand that has happened,
Right. It's like S.H.I.E.L.D. once they know Hydra's infiltrated, so they
Right.
know they're around, but not necessarily who.
like how do you trust anybody around you? That seems very subversive of what the AI would be doing to make us, because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
He says it throughout the movie. This is what they want us to do. They want us to fight each other. They don't want us to be, teaming up. They want us to be at odds.
And that seemed very topical, too,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of that. There's this guy that I was listening to the other night when I couldn't sleep. I've never seen this channel before. It was just randomly recommended, and he was talking about all this stuff, like cultural stagnation and how art isn't art anymore and content creation is different than art. He said basically that like it used to be that social media and things like that were about you discovering new things that you'd like or communicating with your friends or people who are interested in things similar to you. He said now it's about if you like something, we're going to keep feeding you the same content. Like we understand your beliefs and we want you to stay right where you are because we know how to market to you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lot.
That is so accurate.
Yeah, I think that was a really good way of putting it. And it seems like something that would be so easy for a super intelligent AI to do.
Yep.
To be like, oh, I can just keep them believing exactly what I want them to if I just
Mhm.
generate these posts and stuff. And I just make sure that they're fed the same thing over and over again that they're interacting with. Like, that's basically what's already happening. And it seems like no matter what anybody does or believes or says, there's always somebody who's for it and somebody who's against it,
Mhm.
regardless. Like, it could be the most, like, I saw somebody post on Twitter, X, whatever, like, if the wrong person announced a cure for cancer, there'd be people who are like, I never asked you to do that. Like, this is a threat to whatever it is I believe in, you
Yep.
know, like that we're so,
We watched that happen.
we're kept in our little
recently
bubble so much.
in our government when Donald Trump, right after he was elected, and he did, I don't know if it was the State of the Union, he did some
with
big-
that kid.
with the kid.
Yeah.
And none of the Democrats stood and clapped for a 13-year-old kid with like brain cancer who then he is a very nice moment, just gets made an honorary member of the Secret
Yeah,
Service.
they're like, he wants to be a policeman when he grows up, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, now you're not an honorary Secret Service guy, and the Secret Service dude comes out, and like the kid hugs him and all this stuff.
Yeah, it was just a nice thing. It doesn't I don't care what president does it. That was a nice thing. I may not agree with Obama, but if Obama did that, the Republicans are not going to not stand up and
Right.
clap. Like, but that's how divided we are now.
Yeah.
And it's like, who wants us to be divided? That's the question. But it's things like this, and this movie is very topical in that manner. That it really is hitting some notes that they're going to look back on when this movie came out, I think years from now, and be like, they really nail on the head for what was going on at that time.
Yeah, there's a big part of me that thinks AI is not going to get that good. Because like I was starting to tell you before we did this, there was a function that somebody requested
Mhm.
at work for me. I was like, that functionality doesn't exist in our system, but let me see if I can write some new SQL functions that we can put in that'll do this thing without revealing where I work or what I was doing. And I was like, let's see if ChatGPT can do it. So I had it do it, and it generated it, a couple hundred lines. Needed very basic tweaks and changes to
Okay.
just slot in and works. But then in the last couple of weeks, I gave it some other thing to work on, and it just kind of refused to do it. I was doing language translations, and I was like, can you tell me if there are differences between this and that, like that are meaningful, not just like conjugation and basic how I said it. And it goes, okay, go to this website, copy and paste your stuff in there and translate it and then read it yourself. I was like, no, I'm asking you to do it because you used to be able to do this. And it was like, oh, okay, I see the confusion. Go to this site, translate it, and do it yourself. And I went to Google Gemini, and it did it.
Sounds like
and it was like, everything is correct. And so I was like, I don't believe you either. So I went back into one of the documents and deleted a couple words and fed it to it again. And it goes, nope, these are totally identical. It's like, okay, so you can't be trusted.
Okay.
Like, I can no longer rely on translations out of these. I actually do have to go back to Google Translate or whatever and just do it all manually.
Sounds great. Sounds like the AI was just like, you can go fuck yourself.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I ain't doing that.
You think I
don't know you, dude.
Bye, Felicia.
But yeah, it seems like, and Kim was saying this too, like the more information they seem to be fed, the more confused they get. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that is a thing, that it'll get to a point of diminishing returns and it won't be as big of a threat, because I think AI is best when it's supplementing human effort, not replacing it.
But, yeah, that would be the ideal.
But I totally see that this is like the end game fear, that we have a like coalition of AIs or one single one that can kind of run rampant.
I did like how they made mention in this of the reason that this thing is still beatable is because all of the knowledge it has gained at this point isn't new knowledge. Yeah. It hasn't thought things for itself. It only knows what it has learned from us.
Right.
And what it has learned from us is what it's doing. Oh, I'm going to take over all of the firepower and I'm going to wipe people out.
Yeah, and it wants to be sure. Because it knows we would want to be absolutely sure.
Yep.
Like, that's why it's not doing anything yet until it controls everything.
Yeah, that was very interesting. It was. Did you think it was good, bad, dumb that everybody knows? The worlds know when one of their other countries in the world has their nuclear arsenal taken over. Like, they watch it on.
It was very.
It's like the swirling thing going around and then it changes.
Yeah, it's like the beach ball from your MacBook, just like loading. Okay, got your nuclear arsenal. How do you know? Yeah, I thought about that too. It's like, this thing it's taken over the internet and everything, but it's letting you see this somehow. Like, it's a little War Games like. It's like you know stuff you should not know because computers are magic.
Yeah. So I feel a little bit bad because in the first thing we did talking about this, we didn't actually mention one of the main characters of this movie, which was Haley Atwell's character, who just Miss America, basically Mrs. America. Interesting character. I liked how she wasn't just this super badass, I'm gonna beat up every other person.
She's out of her depth a lot. She's like a thief primarily.
And I like that they leaned into that, and they're like, oh, this is the person. You've got the Asian French girl who is a badass, and like, you bought how that all worked.
Sure.
Loved how they rescued her in that time.
Yeah. And that whole scene of like, we're not enemies.
Yes.
Like, we have to not be enemies right now.
That was good, but this character, number one, I understand that she's just a good-looking person. Like, she's an actress. I've never thought she was exceptionally good-looking. God. You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When they have the scene where he's drowning, and then all of a sudden she like swims into frame, and they're doing this mouth-to-mouth thing. It's like, you got to drown, but I make that deal.
I'll make that deal. How about you bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
You make that deal?
I mean, she might not save you. There's that whole thing, the decompression thing. It was so stupid. The whole submarine thing. There were so many dumb things that happened in that. Like, and I know I'm just jumping around here. I don't care. in the submarine, are you telling me that there's none of the torpedoes are secured in any way, shape, or form? They're just rolling around there willy-nilly.
They're just relying on gravity to hold them.
And
in
they
their
might
bay.
be. But I mean, it's a submarine.
Maybe you would think that they'd be
It's
locked in.
like could.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I remember Navy guys trying to recruit me in high school, and they did. They took one. Then they talked about being on subs. They're like, yeah, there's underground or underwater currents and stuff that you will hit, and you have no warning. It's not like on a normal ship where you can see a wave coming or something like that. All of a sudden, it just starts rolling around.
Yeah, and there's
Not like tumbling, but like a ship.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you would think they would need to secure them.
Or if you're a military vessel, you might get hit by fire.
Mhm.
Like you get other torpedoes and like the death charges. Like there's things that are gonna, and if they're not secured, that seems like anybody who's in that area, that's a problem. It was a problem for Ethan, but not like really a problem. Like come on, it was so fantastical. But I enjoyed how her character. She couldn't really do a lot, but she was crucial
Yeah,
to their plan.
Yeah.
And it made sense. It was set up in the beginning.
Yep.
Paid off at the end, and it made sense. It wasn't, I don't believe what you're doing. Like you're gonna do this thing that's so fantastical and so out of the ordinary for what your character should be capable. Nope. That's exactly what her character
yeah.
was
We need
capable
your
of.
reactions. You're gonna
was
react fast
timing.
enough.
It was so good.
It was really good. It was another fantastical thing was the 5D optical storage device that's theoretical, but Luther built one. I miss when Luther was like half field op and half like bomb disposal. And then he was the guy in the chair, as Ned put it in Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
he's the guy in the chair. Yeah, but now he's just like, it's like Felicity from Arrow, where she's like the tech support girl at Queen Industries,
Right.
but like throughout the series, she just becomes, she's actually like a super genius and she can do literally anything.
Yeah,
Anyway,
obviously.
like anything technology related, she can do all of a sudden.
Obviously.
It's this ramping up. And then the other unbelievable thing was that they had a Pelican case that perfectly fit that, because I can never get Pelican cases that fit anything. Like that was like that actually struck me watching it at the end. That it's like, oh my god, they have a little case that fits it, and they're giving it to Ethan, and he's taking it. Like I sort of expected him to just smash it on the ground, but she's like trying to convince him, like, you can control it. I trust you. Like, really?
Yeah.
Why?
The only
We've
one.
just been talking about how nobody can ever have this. It can't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. And he includes himself.
Yeah. But
It's like the thing in the movie that we need you to be the leader. Well, I don't want to be the leader. That's why you need to be the leader.
I don't like. I feel like that's a little bit of leaving like a door open to continue with this in the future. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully it's just like, oh, it's gone now. Even, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it will come back. Maybe in 20 years they'll make another one where it's like, we found the device that Ethan Hunt hid all those years ago.
You know what I actually expected him to do for some reason? It was so dumb. Like as soon as I thought of it, I'm like, that absolutely makes no sense. But then she hands it to him, and as he walks away, he just throws it in the bin.
Yeah,
And just
that
goes
would be great.
like that's just gonna get picked up, thrown in the dump. It's in the dump, wait, like gone, incinerator maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
There were some moments. It's some very okay. So Gabriel, the bad guy in this, he's very mustache twirly bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is full on. I'm gonna do the.
I
evilest-
like how he's like, you're going to bring that to me. And Ethan's chasing him. And he's like, I'm going to get it from you while trying to get away. It's like, what do you think he's trying to do? He's like, I'm going to give it to you. He even tells the other IMF guy or whatever, like whoever they're after him, Briggs and the other dude, like, the only choice is to give this to him. And he's like, who is this guy? Like, why do I need to give it to him? Like, Ethan is saying in very uncomplicated language, give this to him. This is what I want to do. This is what we need to do. And then he's like, I'm going to get away, but I'm also going to get the thing from you.
So,
and how did it connect to the internet? How did putting the thing on it make all the other stuff happen?
Luther made it out of magic.
Oh, I forgot.
Did you forget about that? It's vibranium.
Ah.
He didn't- the outer casing of the Russian thing that he just popped out of that, then it was fine. And he just put it in a Ziploc bag, and then it was good the entire way. It was fine. That was
He's like-
no big deal.
Yeah, just like Benji being like, you see that thing that looks like an entire wheelbarrow full of spaghetti, all these wires, cut one of the blue ones and then plug this thing in, and then the solar panels will become an antenna.
That was
While he's having
open heart surgery.
discount Kimiko, do surgery on
Like,
him. I just wanted at the end also, I just thought like, what if he shows up and he's like dressed in a suit, but he still has that fucking pen sticking out? Like that would be kind of
that's
funny.
just his thing now. He's
Yeah.
just breathing out of that. He puts a cigarette up to it. That's so stupid. Why?
Yeah,
why
he
do
just
you want
comes
to
out,
listen to
blows
us?
smoke out of his nose, and then you see the cigarettes in the things.
There's a scene with Gabriel and Ethan and planes, and it is like you talk about. It's almost like I have the thing that you want. I want you to give it to me. You can't give it to me. Like what are we even doing right now? And it was a way to have Ethan Hunt and Tom Cruise do these fantastical stunt things that he's known for, that he does, and it was kind of fun to watch. It wasn't too crazy. When he punched the first guy in the plane, he just gets a
Yeah, there's
And
like
then
no
that's
wind
it.
up to it, and it's a really awkward cut. I laughed so hard.
You did.
And
I'm
then he
like, are
did
you
it again.
okay?
And then he does it again. He finally gets up to Gabriel, and they look at each other. It's like he's gonna fucking do it again.
It didn't work on the main bad guy this time though. It like worked on him.
Well, it knocked him
It
out
was
for
like
like
from-
a second.
It was like the Austin Powers thing. Oh, I'm Austin Powers' dad. You don't even have a name tag.
Yeah,
He
do you
just
know how many
judo chops
names?
everybody.
You know how many henchmen I've killed over the years? You don't even have a name tag. You just lay it out.
And that's basically what happened in this. I really did like from the very outset of the movie the fantastical, the what has to happen to make this happen, to get here, to get there, to do these things. I really liked how they just leaned into it, and
Mhm.
everything seemed fine. What might have been my favorite scene of the entire movie. You talked about them not shoehorning in a bunch of the Marvel comedy, and they did a very good job of not going from something serious to Benji makes a joke or no. But the scene where him and Haley Atwell's character get captured,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, just remember, it's just pain.
Yeah.
And she's what? And she's like,
I like that it's reminiscent of the last one. I think it was the last one where he's like tied to a pole, and he like somehow works his way around it. So he's like pulling himself up
Yes.
and like launches off of it.
yeah.
It's like we're back in this situation, but she's never been in a situation like that before.
Mhm.
So he's like kind of coaching her through it. He's like, "You're doing great. Like you didn't think I was really gonna let him hurt you, did you? Like they had to believe
Well, not
that I
like,
was really gonna do."
it's like not like seriously.
yeah.
Like there
And
was
then he like picks up the like meat tenderizer.
yes, meat mallet, yes.
And he's like going at this guy, and all you see is her like, oh,
It does. It cuts
Oh.
to her, and you're hearing the battle between him and these two guys. And she held her own a little bit with
Mhm.
one of them because she's not completely incompetent.
right.
But that was not a winning fight for her.
she's not a secret agent. She's not
Exactly.
trained for this
Mhm.
stuff. She's a thief.
And so she's got a little bit of skill, but not like that. And the fact that the camera turned away and you keep hearing that, I hadn't seen that happen in a movie. In
I know. Yeah.
it was
and when it
so-
happens, it's just comedy.
Mhm.
But this was like funny, but like funny in a way that doesn't take you out of it.
Yeah, it was really. Oh,
She's like, oh, jeez. And then, he's like, oh, okay. And there's like a guy with a meat cleaver in his back
Cleaver?
or whatever.
And his shirt's ripped, there's blood everywhere. It's like, okay. all
Yeah,
right.
and then he shows up to Luther. Luther's like, whose blood is that? He's like, no one we know.
Which is funny because that was one of the things that we do this for those we know and those we don't know. And that was a very running theme to this movie. But I mean, if you want to pick at things, but like I said, from the very outset of this movie, they're doing these fantastical things and it's so ridiculous. And you're like, all right, well, I'm suspending all disbelief for the things that are going on in this. But not so, I mean, a little bit so much, but not so much that it takes you out of anything that's happening. I do think in this one, like the last scene with him and Gabriel in the planes, that took me out of it a little bit because again, you are fighting the clock, and I'm in this plane. Like, how long is that even going to take?
I like when he's on the wing and he notices like what's controlling
Mhm.
the whatever, like how the wing moves, like
The
how he's on the
ailerons.
steering.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he's just like got it. He's just looking back, and Gabriel was like, just moving up and down, like I can control the plane now. And so he's just sitting over there like a kid. He's figured something out.
Yeah, I mean, but it was still fun. Like overall, even if you're not looking for something that's as deep as like what you mentioned with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, that you're just going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is exactly what you want it to be. And we didn't really bring this up enough, but I really do appreciate, did you say Dalton? Was that his character's name?
Who?
The guy from the first movie who they meet in the cabin with the Eskimo wife.
Oh shit. Donaldson.
Donaldson.
William Donaldson, I think they said is his character.
Dunlow.
Dunlow, you're right.
Dunlow. William Dunlow. Really liked how that came full circle.
Mm.
That was so well done. And what it happened at the end, that I really expected him and his wife to just be like, all right, we're just sacrificing ourselves.
Yeah, because she looks at him and she's like, we have to let these youngsters live. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? They're all like 50 at a minimum.
Right. They're not. Benji's old. Tom Cruise is old as crap. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
though.
it made me think of Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, you got that kid killed. He's like, kid, he was 50.
It was good. I liked when his wife, Dunlow's wife, is trying to explain to Haley that I have to sleep, so you have to drive the sled. Here's
like,
a gun. What's a gun? Ha! Polar bears? That whole
She's
thing.
like,
So, do we know why they did any of that? Why they got on the sled? I know she went to go get the dogs because that was part of their plan. They got one of the soldiers away and they kind of dealt with it.
I'm not totally clear on how everybody gets to where
They need to
comes
go?
onto the ice,
Right?
Because
But they were all
I
there.
get that they're dog sledding there, but it's just them. I don't know exactly how Benji and William are supposed to
Anybody
have
else
gotten
gets
there. Like,
right?
I don't know.
Well, that was the steal the plane part, right? That we have to steal and we have to get there. We have to steal the plane. We
Yeah.
have to. I thought that too. I'm like, why is it just these two out on
Yeah,
the dog
I-
sled?
I
I don't
don't-
understand what's happening.
Yeah, I don't totally know where that came from.
But it's
I love that Russian captain, by the way.
the Russian captain
that-
was real good too.
The scenes between them where, Benji's like, he's like, we'll leave you unharmed. Once we get what we want, we'll leave you unharmed. And Benji's like, would you believe that if you were me? And he's like, no.
Nope.
And then she's giving him the speech, Haley
That
Atwell's
we have to work
character,
together.
like, we
that
have
it's-
to. We're all in this together against.
Then he hits
the
her with the
entity.
Uno reverse card.
Yeah, he brings it right back. Would you believe that if you were me? It's just like, no,
And she just stops and's like, oh yeah, I mean,
got me.
you got me.
It's like, yeah, I mean the first half.
He really had me in the first half. That was, but yeah, so both of them. If you were to take, can I have a movie with those two?
Mm-hmm.
The submarine captain and the Russian guy.
Yes,
Like they're the
Oh,
ones who were. They were so good.
They were so good.
And that Russian captain finally is like, oh no, we got the coordinates we need. But the way that plot twist happened,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of the only like plot twisty things that was like, oh, that was clever.
Yeah,
And the person was like, here, that's on the other side, the exact other side of it. And it's like, wait a second. That was
and it's a little
really
bit of one of those
clever.
things of if the sub captain hadn't said, it's almost exactly the other side of the world, and Ethan's like, exactly. He's like, let's flip that.
Right? That was super well done too. There were some things in this. I mean, take away the fantastical elements, whatever it is really clever. Like it's Mission Impossible. They've always been well done,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like when they can do things. They don't have to hold my hand, and they can give me something that was maybe unexpected. I'm like, oh, I really thought this was going to go the other way. Like when we there was something we referenced and we thought it was going to go. I thought that was good, and it didn't. I like that stuff. I like to have my expectations subverted a little. It was good.
Yeah. One thing that still is confusing to me is they kept saying, if you destroy the entity,
The internet's gone, basically. I
Yeah,
think that's what they imply.
the internet is gone. Like, we won't be able to deliver power anymore. There will be famine. Like, the economies will all crash.
Which, if the internet's gone, if you could snap my fingers and it was gone, that would crash economies because everything is so digitally tracked right
But
now.
is it because they didn't? They're like, if you use the poison pill, it destroys cyberspace. Is how
Yeah.
they put it. But then they trap the entity after using the poison pill, and everything's okay. Like everything power. Oh, okay, yeah. Snake Plissken hit the button, and the power. Everything's
exactly
gone.
what I thought of.
Everything is gone. But then it just comes back up.
Yep.
How?
I don't know.
Like, is it because
It's
they
because
didn't
good guys want
destroy it while it was in the wild? They destroyed it when it was going into this like vault. Then maybe it left everything intact because it knew it would need. I don't know how that works. Like, I don't know why destroying the entity while it was in control would destroy everything else.
And the entity wanted to get into that super server area that was disconnected from everything, and it could survive. That's all it wanted. I want to survive while the nuclear holocaust goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole point of the little USB whatever thing, not that that's, but
Uh-huh.
the poison bit was to kill it. That was the idea, that this kills this sentient problematic AI.
Also,
and yet it didn't.
that looked like really bad soldering too. When they show Luther first doing it, he's like, "There's just solder everywhere." Like that thing, there's no hope of that working. It just looked like it would short immediately. Like all of the connections were soldered together pretty much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. We were sitting kind of close. I don't know.
No,
I was full
I
of.
think we just got a really good picture.
I
of
was
it.
full of strawberry donut holes and icing or whatever they had there.
I would not have noticed stuff like that. That's not even true. When I saw him doing it and I saw the little amount of
Like
solder,
that looked sloppy,
it
right?
seemed like it was a lot. It was like you see those. It's like the welder things. You see the side by side, the one who knows what
Knows
they're
what he's
doing. It
doing.
looks just You're like, wow, how did you eat? And then you see, oh, that's what it would look like if I did it. Okay.
I don't know. It was really good. I really
It was
enjoyed
fun.
Yeah,
it
you
was
were like
exactly what you wanted it to be.
when Ving Rhames. It's the Ving Rhames speech at the end. He's like, "I left a message for you on this," and it just again plays somehow through that thing because of magic.
Right, randomly at the
Like-
time that we need to have it happen.
If I plug a thing into like an external hard drive, which is basically what they did, where's the speaker? Where's the power supply?
It was all part of the. It was all in that stick. It was all there.
In the magic, and
Yep.
you're just like, push it down, push it down. I was like, yeah, I can't let Ving Rhames make me cry, so I'm thinking about bad stuff that's happened to me to just like push it down. But it was a good emotional moment.
Yeah, it was a well done movie.
Sometime when Kim's out of town or something, maybe I'll watch it again and I'll be like, all right,
Lots of tissues.
like let the waterworks start, but it probably won't. Push it down.
Tom Cruise does it again. I mean,
turn it into cancer achievement, just like Deadpool Wolverine.
Jesus, like it is exactly what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Sorry everybody, we didn't want this one to go super long, so we're gonna shut this thing down. Remember, find us everywhere, follow us on socials, interact with us, email us at moviehowl@gmail.com. Let us know what's up. But
Yeah, if you understand what happened at the end there, why power came back,
oh my god, please
let us know.
But it's just because my explanation is the good guys won. So the good guys won, right?
and things are good.
Things are good. Life is good. Okay. One thing we didn't talk about, I feel like maybe we should. They subverted my expectation in a great deal with what is his name? Nick Offerman plays, and I was gonna say Ron Swanson.
yeah, where
He
you
plays the
think
general.
he's gonna be one of the death cult people,
Yeah.
right? He's like, Gunnerman Sergeant, I need your. I think that's what he said.
Sidearm.
Gunnery Sergeant, I
Yeah,
need your
sidearm.
sidearm. And he's like, sir, and he's like, you heard me.
And he just hands it to him. That's
yeah,
what yep.
and it's like, oh, okay, they're trying to convince her you have to launch now.
And he was on that
And
side.
and she's like, when she closes it, she's like, no, I almost did it. I almost wiped out like 20 million people or whatever, and she just closes it. And then
He goes out and gets the gun, and
this was before this that he had
Mhm.
gotten the gun.
yeah, when she was leaning one way or another,
Mhm.
and he goes out, he gets it, and then that death cult thing happens, and he's there with the gun to be able to stop it.
Yeah,
Pays the price for it. It was a
cool moment for him. It was.
I just didn't understand what made him want to go get the gun. Where was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, I don't know. Except like you're saying, they're aware that there's this death cult out there, and he's like, maybe one of them's here. Maybe he was starting to suspect something. Like maybe something will go on, and
They didn't set that up in any way. They didn't show him like noticing this guy, paying extra close attention or anything, or I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I think it was just to set up this suspenseful moment and have us surprised when somebody else tries to.
I guess I just want to know it, and I know it's fantastical, but it's one of those things that of all the things that happened, that doesn't make sense. Like, why did you go get his gun? Like, what was the point? But even with that, enjoyed it. This was good. Holligans. Hope you enjoyed it. Final thoughts?
Go watch it.
Go watch it. Go watch it. Until next time, I've been Joe.
I've been Ryan.
We're out.